All right, everybody, and welcome to yet another random live chat, courtesy of Bronies UK. We'll be talking basically everything and anything that we can talk about in regards to the upcoming G5 film, the G5 trailer, MLP in general, and any other stuff that we end up talking about over the course of probably the next 2 to 3 hours. People will hopefully be joining us. Hopefully, we'll be having Nolsey, fellow member of the channel, will be joining us, and potentially Alpha Swell will be joining us as well. Just as soon as we've got things started. All right, so we've actually got a first message here from Nostalgia Bash 308. It says, "Hi, dude. Do you have any pony waifus?" Let's just throw that up there. So we have the question up there. Do I actually have any pony waifus? Good question. To be honest, no, not really. Never really sort of looked at it in that light. I definitely have favorite characters, that I'd want to hang out with, but not really any waifus in that sense. Never really been interested in sort of applying characters in that style. But I do have plenty of favorite characters. We got 3 people watching. Not too sure where Nosy is. He is supposed to be here, but I'm sure he'll join us momentarily once he sets things up. Let me have a look. Where is he? He has got the link to today's channel, so I'm not sure where he is. I'm sure he'll be around. Regarding G5 information, I do have an interesting tidbit of information, which I do want to discuss. Nothing particular. Well, I say nothing heavy. It's interesting. It's possibly been confirmed as genuine by somebody within the fan base. This piece of information was released. Sadcourt Nosy just sent me a message. Long story short, his connection has cut him off. So he'll be joining us momentarily. He's having to reset his internet. But anyway, in regards to information, I do have some information regarding the G5 trailer. And Ginger, welcome, Ginger. Hello again. Hope you're well. It's going fine, mate. Thanks for asking. Hope you're well. It seems we've got some new photos from G5. Yeah, I've heard about that. I have seen them. I have seen these new photos. As I was just saying, I do have a bit of information regarding the possible release date of the G5 trailer. I will discuss that as soon as we've got Nosy up and running. Then we will discuss it. Interestingly, the information has been verified as potentially legitimate. So if it is indeed accurate as the sources have said it is, we may well have an actual date for the release date of the trailer. Potentially, give or take maybe 2 or 3 days, depending on how we look at it. But yeah, I don't want to talk about it yet because I'm waiting for Nosy to come on first because I'm just sort of hoping to get him involved. And hopefully we might have Alpha Swell joining us as well. We'll just see what happens. But I just want to bring up, again, Nostalgia Bash 3088 asked earlier, do you have any, pony waifus? Ultimately, when it comes to sort of character waifus, sort of characters that you would, I suppose, love to marry. I've never really looked at pony characters from that perspective. I mean, in my case, I've always looked at pony characters as just being sort of, I'd love to sort of hang out with them in Equestria or go on adventures with them and, just form great friendships with them. That's sort of my sort of take on that in a way. Ginger, some say make about possibly around August 20th or around that date. Regarding the trailer, Ginger, as I say, I do have some information regarding that. As I said, I just want to sort of wait till Nosey gets here, then we'll discuss it because I kind of want his opinion on it. I actually have the information on my phone right here. I basically took a screenshot of it about probably yesterday or the day before because I knew if I didn't, it would probably disappear into the ether of the internet. So I do have an interesting bit of information I can talk about. Oh, come on, camera. Don't go all blurry on me. Come on. Stay with me. Come on. There we go. That's better. I do need to get a new camera at some point. That one's not quite as good as it used to be. But in regards to development, well, I will say one thing. We have had in the last sort of 2 weeks just an absolute motherload of G5 information in regards to G5 merchandise. Oh, Knowles is here. Hang on. Here he is. There's Nosey. He made us all wait. You have to apologise.
Sorry.
That's better. Good man.
Technology is great when it works.
Yeah, that's true. Technology is fantastic when it wants to work. But anyway, Nosey, since you're here, I have a little bit of information that I want to bring up.
Okay.
I saved a screenshot on my phone so I would be able to talk about it. If I hadn't screenshotted it, we would probably never be able to talk about it. Hello to Nico. Hope you're well.
Hello, Nico, to Ginger, and to Nostalgia Bash. Hello to you all.
Right, where did I? Here's where I put it. Right. Okay. So I have it. So, this came directly from a Brownie-related forum. Mm-hmm. I've basically been a member of it for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years. And this bit of information was revealed by a member by the name of Sparkle Time 88. And it says the following. We have a trailer date. The trailer date is due to be released for the 20th of August. And then somebody followed this up and stated that they personally know Sparkle Time 88. They've known them for several years. And Sparkle Time has in the past given solid information about MLP. So they are a legitimate source, and it's very likely that this is correct. So we could be looking at a release date, the 20th of August for the trailer, which is a week this Friday. So we're literally 2 weeks away.
Interesting.
If that is accurate, we're 2 weeks away.
Interesting. I mean, don't hold us to that, guys, because every time we've said, a few more weeks, we'll get the trailer.
Yeah, my belief is if it isn't released if it's not released on the 20th, then I'm 99% it will be released on the 23rd or the 24th. But we may well only be 2 weeks away. Hopefully, because, I want to see it. I want to know things. I want to know, like, the characters. What do they sound like? Do we get an idea of what the world's like? And speaking of the new G5 world, has anybody seen the rough G5 map that's been leaked?
No.
Basically, there's like been a G5 equestrian map leaked, sort of almost like a work in progress map that's been confirmed to be legitimate, and it shows a few locations, and this is really interesting. It confirms that Canterlot is still around in G5, but it belongs to the Pegasi now. So the Pegasi are living at Canterlot and not living in Cloudsdale. So that is really interesting tidbit of information.
And Dash has kicked out Twilight out of her own castle. I'm joking. Wow, interesting.
Nicholas states, the fact that they never gave a link to prove it makes me really suspicious, to be honest. Well, ultimately, like we said, we can only go with what the person has said. We don't have a link to any sort of official information. I'm 90% sure if it isn't the 20th, it'll be the 23rd or the 24th. So at best, we're 2.5 weeks away tops. We'll just have to wait and see. It is a bit early to really tell. But yeah, as we were saying, Canterlot, now the home of the Pegasi. So there's a story there. I doubt Twilight was kicked out by Rainbow Dash. You know, that just never happened. Rainbow Dash is the element of loyalty. She'd never do that. You know,
Loyal to herself.
I mean, I am really stuck. One thing that I desperately want to know about G5: where are the Alicorns? Where is Twilight? Where is Celestia? Where's Luna? Where's Flurry Heart? Where's Cadence? I want to know where they are, because okay, officially it's never stated that they are immortal, but we are led to believe they are, or they at very least live for a very long time. Because we know Celestia and Luna are, you know, at least 2,000 years old. At least they are if you follow the sort of standalone book that was being written about them. Journal of the Two Sisters. It more or less confirms that they're like a few thousand years old. Oh, Ginger's come up with a good theory. I like that.
Since magic disappeared, I think Cloudsdale fell down from the sky, and eventually the Pegasi took over over Canterlot and something. Interesting.
What do you think? Do you think we're going to look at some sort of Pegasi invasion? They invade Canterlot en masse and take over.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, as we know from what we've read so far, the information we've got, magic is gone pretty much. The whole, magic isn't used. So maybe the Pegasi have maybe lost their ability to do what they did back in Gen 4.
Control the weather.
Yeah, things like that. So they don't. So they've become ground, more like they're living on the ground rather than in the sky and clouds or whatever. So could be something like that.
I mean, the thing is, there's this sort of kind of rumor going around at the moment that the Pegasi have lost their ability to fly, and that they're using like props and wires and things to sort of make it appear they can fly. So it's interesting that potentially we may be looking at the Pegasi, because we know that Zip and Pip are royalty in some sense. We know them. We are assuming their mother is this Queen Pegasi that we know about.
Yeah.
I know there's some interesting theories from Dr. Wolf that these Pegasi might be the equivalent of sort of social media influencers, like they might, because we know smartphones are potentially a thing. Phones do exist in G5. Whether or not they are smartphones, we don't know. But there are some theories that the Royal Pegasi, these 3 Royal Pegasi, might just be internet celebrities. They may not necessarily be royals in the sense that they are in charge, or they may just be in charge of Canterlot. Maybe they just took up the mantle as royalty.
Maybe. Yeah.
What do you think, mate?
I don't know, really. I mean, to be honest, without seeing a trailer, really, it's very hard to really put words to it. What we could expect. I mean, my mindset is constantly wondering about, like, the world is like, magic is gone pretty much. Magic isn't used. Although it seems that there are some that can still fly. From, I believe, was it the last stream we did? Things like that. So there are some that can still possibly fly, which is interesting to me. But, this news as well with, like you said, with the Pegasi now kind of living in what used to be Canterlot or in Canterlot or whatever. It's kind of interesting to me. just how much change there is with the world. I mean, you know,
I mean,
don't know.
I'm sort of guessing this bit. I'm sort of guessing this based off the history, but since oh bloody hell, the name's got out of my head now. Ponyville. Since Ponyville was originally an Earth Pony town, and I'm wondering whether or not Sunny, that's where she maybe lives. Perhaps that's now become like the main Earth Pony sort of town. And just a shout out to Nico. He states, speaking of which, my birthday is on the 22nd. Imagine if the trailer drops then. It'd be like a birthday present for me. Well, I hope so, mate. That'd be the perfect birthday for you, wouldn't it? So time will tell. Time will tell. Darren states it's less than a month. Welcome, Darren. But yeah, it is less than a month until the film is released. Really looking forward to it. Really am. But we're all just desperately waiting for a trailer now. I mean, it's sort of like when everybody was desperately waiting for the trailer for Endgame. We were all, waiting for the final trailer for the final Marvel film, and everybody was sort of so excited. It's the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're all waiting for that G5 trailer because we want to know more about the film.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I'm quite surprised that it's taken them this long to release a trailer. I mean, I would have thought we would have got. I know we got like little animated GIFs, little animations, and things like that, which you could kind of call a little bit of like a little teaser. And obviously the whole featurette with when they announced the voice actors playing the characters, and they kind of gave you a little bit of them voicing those characters, so it gave you a little idea of their personalities. But it's kind of like, I'm surprised that we didn't get just a little teaser before now, and then the full-on story-driven trailer later. But of course, this isn't going up this is only going to theaters in one country, and that's Russia. So it's kind of like, maybe that's why it's different, and we're getting the trailer later.
Well, Ginger states, if it had been theatrical, we would have gotten a trailer about 5 months ago. Yeah, we would have done.
Yeah.
If it had been in cinemas, we would have had a trailer around about March time, I'd say. Late March, early April, we would have had a trailer. So yeah, I would again, Netflix do things a bit differently. So yeah, I agree on that statement, Ginger. Very likely we would have had a trailer 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, the whole streaming things, it is different. I mean, like, obviously they do trailers for everything. If they do like an original series or an original movie, things of that nature always gets a trailer, but it's always through Netflix or their YouTube channel. That's where they usually announce it. But with this being in like a collaborative effort, if you will, with Hasbro, with Boulder Media and Netflix and E1, I believe, as well. So all those people, all those entities are coming together, and all of them release trailers independent to one another for whatever they're working on. So I'm surprised we haven't had at least something from either of those companies. But with this, it looks like Netflix kept a real tight grasp of this. So I think it is going to be Netflix themselves that will release the trailer. I generally think.
I want to let's just bring up Princess Galaxy Star. Hello to you, because interestingly, we were just talking about this. Stated Pegasi took over Canterlot. What happened to Twilight and the other Alicorns? We were literally talking about that about 10 minutes ago. Princess Galaxy. Basically, that is a big question. A lot of people are generally asking that question. I mean, where are they? Realistically, they should still be alive because the Alicorns live a long time. So yeah, I am kind of curious about that. I have a few theories. At the moment, I have potentially 3 theories about where the Alicorns are, if they are indeed still around. My first theory is that they left Canterlot many years ago and went home, because I know there are theories that Alicorns are not from Equestria originally. I also have theories that they may well be hiding somewhere. Perhaps they've gone into hiding, or they are possibly imprisoned somewhere. So yeah, I do have a few theories about the Pegasi. Let's bring up Nico. So Nico states, I really, really hope they don't make Bip into obnoxious internet star obsessed with fame and social media. That would be a huge punch in the face. Also, that would be a very negative message for the start of G5 MLP.
Yeah.
That would be a really negative way to do it if they did that.
Yeah, I understand that this film, they want to kind of bring it into the now. They want to kind of, obviously
attract the current generation who would be,
yeah.
smartphone, social media. Yeah, so yeah, they'd want to attract the generation.
So, of course, the whole idea and the decision behind bringing in these elements of like technology, smartphones, things like that. Obviously, it's attracting a certain audience, young kids and so on. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree with what Nico said there. I mean, I wouldn't like it if some of these, if maybe one or two of these characters are incredibly obnoxious because of the whole internet thing. At the moment, it seems like only one of them seems to be kind of like, looks like he's kind of been done that way, which is obviously Pip. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I say, without a trailer, we don't know. I'm just hoping that they don't bow to certain social things at the moment in this film. Like, I don't know. I just hope they kind of keep the essence of what Gen 4 was. I don't want it to literally be identical to Gen 4. Of course, it shares the same continuity, but I want it to be its own thing, and I want the characters to be their own characters. I don't want them to be like a rip-off of the previous characters we've got. So I want it to be its own thing. But at the same time, I don't want them to kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to really talk. I don't know. I just don't want them to mess it up. That's basically it.
No, but to bring forth Darian's question here, do you think there's a pony made in it? Well, the way I'm sort of going to look at that question is, okay, we know there are royal guards. We've seen from that one of the sort of stills from the film that was released. You've got obviously two Pegasi guard wearing royal guard armor. Potentially, we could say there might be maids or butlers or some form of servants, maybe, for the Pegasi. Again, we don't know, but we can speculate. But to state that they may well have those to keep up the charade of being royalty. Because the whole royal thing for these Pegasi, it could just spawn from the fact that they're living in Cancelot and they know the history of it. So perhaps they're just sort of looking at themselves as being, part of the royal history. But yeah, I could potentially see them having maids and butlers to keep up the charade of it all, depending on how things work. Because, you never really saw them. I mean, there were maids in Canterlot with Celestia and Luna, but you didn't really see them that often.
No, you didn't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends, really. I mean, there will be some kind of. I assume there will be some kind of degree of royal or someone that's in, high demand, like a political figure or something, or someone like that. Like Princess Celestia and Luna. Somebody that is in charge. We don't know. I mean, there could be someone or characters or multiple characters that are of that kind of thing. So they might have maids, they might have butlers, they might have things like that. You don't know, do you?
Just to carry on with that chain of thought, the next question again from Darren states, what does a pony maid wear? Well, I would assume a pony maid would wear a maid's uniform. That's the only thing I could think of. But just pony style.
Just a black dress thing with a frilly apron, which is usually kind of the go-to.
But Nico is presenting us with a rather dark theory, people, for G5. Nolty, do the honours.
Here's my G5 theory, mind you. This is kind of dark. Twilight is dead. Something happened to Equestria that ended up killing her in some way. Maybe Spike had enough. And just had enough. Being tossed into these situations that his young, impressionable young mind at one point just didn't want to do. He just wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons or whatever with Big Mac and things. But no, I don't know. I don't know. It is kind of a dark theory, but I would be very surprised if Twilight's not alive during this. Because as you say, she's an Alicorn princess and all, and like Celestia and Luna, they lived fairly long lives. They lived over 1,000 years, maybe more, and they would, So it's kind of like, how long? What do you think Twilight would live? And I think, depending of what the timescale gap is between Gen 4 and Gen 5, she could potentially still be alive, and possibly Spike as well. But we don't know. We don't know yet. I don't know what the movie's going to be. Obviously, the movie's starting off the story. It's the fundamental idea behind this movie, I think, is just going to be introducing you to the characters more than anything. And then they start to go on their journey. And then you meet all these other characters, maybe some bad characters or whatever, things like that. And then obviously there's the 45-minute special, which is supposedly like a bridge gap thing for the series from the series we'll carry on from. So it just really depends. I think the film is just going to introduce the pony fans, fellow bronies, Peggy sisters, if you will, and introduce you to this new world with no magic and technology and what sounds like a very depressing world when you read it. That the friendship is magic is no more. It sounds like the elements of harmony are known of, but they're more like a legend. And it seems like the main characters at the main six are also a legend. They've gone down as a legend, so their stories are told from generation to generation, like with Sunny and her dad probably telling us stories of the past, which is what we can kind of see happening. And the toys, the little figurines that Sunny has as well, in some of the images we got. Well, what do you think, Sam?
If Spike did have enough and he did kill and possibly eat Twilight, I could understand that. The poor guy was basically not really that well respected.
What's up for Pony Barbecue?
Literally, he was always getting left behind. He was always sort of treated as second fiddle. And yeah, I could see him potentially causing Equestria to collapse.
And all the guy wanted was a bit of rarity. That's all he wanted. He just wanted rarity. It would never happen, really.
Well, yeah, there was that hell of an age gap. But I don't know. I think where is Twilight, where are the Alicorns is definitely the big mystery of G5. Hopefully we'll find out. And I'm hoping that. But can we discuss yet again, Princess Galaxy Star brings us another rather dark theory.
Great name.
Indeed. A very good name. G5 theory about Equestria had lost its magic. Twilight's friends died and Twilight became depressed. She turned evil just like Luna. Then Princess Cadance and Flurry Heart had to stop her. Wow. Now that would be like the ultimate thing. You sort of imagine if some point in G5 it's revealed that Twilight went completely evil, turned into is it Midnight Sparkle, and
Yeah.
basically tried to destroy Equestria or something. Then she had to be sort of imprisoned or taken out by her closest friends and relatives. So I'm like, wow, that would be very extreme.
It would be, actually.
Speaking of that, just on that same note, will there be any references to Nightmare Moon in G5? Because Nightmare Moon played a very sort of important part in G4, especially in sort of like obviously the first 2 episodes, and then she's brought up quite a few times in other episodes. So I'd be very curious. Do you think Nightmare Moon might be mentioned? Like the fabled Mare in the Moon story might pop up?
Maybe. I mean, it all depends of what is in those journals that Sunny has. I mean, people seem to think that it could be Twilight's personal journal,
Yes.
or it could be maybe Celestia's journal. But if you notice on the journal, I think, does it have Twilight's cutie mark on it?
I think it does. I think it's got.
I think it probably could be a personal journal, or it could just be a published book that of stories of that time. I don't know, but no, I mean it's interesting. It's an interesting time for him, and it's certainly. I mean, I generally think that the characters that are obviously species like dragons and so on, I think they'll still be around, but obviously they'll be a lot older. Obviously elder ages. But I don't know. I mean, look at Celestia and Luna. I keep saying bringing them up because they were. We can think of that they were over 1,000 years old, and they still looked really youthful. So makes you think: would Twilight still appear the way she does, like at the end of Gen 4? Would she still look youthful if she was still alive? Or would she look a little bit look like Granny Smith, like, oh, I gone senile in my old age. I can't remember. What was that little green dragon again?
A senile Twilight Sparkle. That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting. Like, I remember the day that Rainbow Dash was really the best pony, but we didn't.
You know that if there's one thing I feel like's worth mentioning, just because I think it would be quite sad and a bit of a tragedy if this particular character was not mentioned in G5 at all. Will Spike get mentioned? Like, seriously, because at the moment we know that the main 6 of G4 are definitely in somehow part of the G5 universe. We know that their stories have been passed down. What about Spike? Yeah. Spike was part of that.
He was.
So is he going to be mentioned at all? Or will he just be ignored? Which, if it was, it'd be so sad. Poor Spike.
It would. I mean, it'd be interesting because, like I just said, with dragons, they don't live as long as maybe a Pegasus, a Alicorn or whatever, but they live longer than an average pony. Don't know how long they can live for, but anyways, but they live a relatively long life. So if he is still alive, and it depends on the time gap between series, between this movie and the end of Gen 4. It generally depends on how long the time gap is, but it's just like, for me, it would be nice to get a little bit of closure and a bit of recognition for Spike if they did include him in this movie somehow, or in the series that follows. He kind of helps them out. They somehow find him or stumble upon him, or they end up in the land of the dragons and they meet him. Maybe he's still, in charge of the dragons, and he's still alive, and he basically tells them of Twilight and the other characters and what that it kind of fills them in and gives them a little bit of advice. It would be nice to get that. It would be nice to have that, because he, as you said, Sam, Spike was he was kind of an important character in a way. He was he was always there for Twilight through thick and thin. He went on a lot of missions and on friendship missions and that. And even though unfortunately in later seasons he was less and less involved, but yet he would have a lot of knowledge and he would have a lot of memories about that time. And I think he would be a perfect advocate, if you can call it that, a perfect thing if Twilight isn't around anymore, or if something's happened to Twilight, maybe he's the next best character to get some info from. Or maybe Celestia and Luna are still around. I don't know.
Well, let's just try and catch up with some of the chat here. So, Ginger, Spike will be very famous in the Crystal Empire if it still exists.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, the Crystal Empire is something which I would be very curious about, because for us, if we sort of look at the Crystal Empire in one way, it's effectively, to a certain extent, a completely separate kingdom. You know, it was separate from Equestria in a sense that it was sort of like just on Equestria's border with the Griffins, I believe.
Mm.
Not much was known about it until obviously it came back. And the fact that it was run exclusively by Cadence and Shining Armor, I would be very curious to know. I mean, could the Crystal Empire become like a separate client kingdom, become its own thing? Again, it's the type of thing which may probably get answered in the G5 series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there will be. I think obviously the movie is the start of it. It's going to be mostly character development in the movie, because once you remove the character development of the main characters and get their backstories and get where they've come from and where the journey can start from, and any other characters that come into that as well, then it makes it easier to kind of bring in other elements later on, as that's kind of obvious. So I think with the movie, I'm very. We don't want to kind of get too ahead of ourselves, if I can say that, because you just don't know how much essence you will get in the movie itself, because obviously these are new characters, this is a new world, so it'll be exploring this world without magic. It would kind of, I think we might get a couple of like when Sonny's young, as we saw in those pictures, when Sonny's really young and her father is by her bedside or whatever, he probably has encouraged her with certain things to in that kind of that old frame of mind of the past, with friendship is magic and magic in general, and the legend of that was the elements of harmony and Twilight's friends, and all that kind of stuff. I generally think I think it's going to be established in story form through a book or a journal. And I think then when they finally, all the characters meet for the first time, Hitch and Pip and Zip and all them other characters, when they first all meet each other on their journey, I've got a feeling, maybe Sonny already knows one of the main characters. I've got this thingy that, I know this is going on a different tangent here, but I generally think maybe one of the main characters she already knows, maybe as a childhood friend or something like that. But then the other ones, they come in later, I mean, I could be wrong with that, but I generally think maybe I'm kind of leading towards Izzy and Hitch could already know Sonny through being kids and things like that.
I don't think that's the case, mate. I mean, I know where you're going with that, but ultimately, it's more or less been confirmed that all three tribes are separated now, are living with a lot of distrust. So it's unlikely that the main characters know each other. And again, if they knew each other already, it would be too much like G4.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I mean, like you say, I mean, it could just simply be Sunny just heads out on an adventure on her own and meets these characters because they're all in the same predicament. That, as you say, all the tribes, all the different species, the Pegasi and the Alicorns and all this, that, and the other, all of them are separate. So maybe kind of Sunny, as you see Sunny going out on the rollerblades or whatever, maybe that is the scene of her going on a journey, starting it. And
Maybe.
she's on a journey. She somehow stumbles upon Hitch, everybody. But no, just kind of, I generally think, from a story standpoint, a lot of the lore of what Gen 4 was, a lot of that history, I generally think that all that history, I generally think it will come from some sort of a source of a book or a story or something like that. And Nico, also, while we are on the topic, something tells me Sunny and Hitch already know each other. So that's kind of what I just said. I mean, Hitch, from the looks of it, Hitch and Sunny are Earth ponies. I could be wrong with that. Are they both? I think they could. I think they are.
Yeah, Hitch. They're both Earth ponies. Yeah.
So Hitch could possibly be. Maybe Hitch already knows Sunny.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. That's a good point. They could know each other.
So they will probably live in the same land that the Earth ponies live. So they might know each other. But as for Izzy, obviously Izzy, she's a unicorn, so she'll be in the land of the unicorns. And obviously, I think it's Zip. I get these two mixed up. The one that looks a bit like Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, Zip.
That's it. Yeah, thank you. So they always get Zip and Pip. Why call Zip and Pip? Could you? Because
the kids will remember the names. That's why.
Kids will, but I'm going senile.
Yeah, but
and these things confuse me.
Yeah, but Hasbro sell product, make money,
sell toys.
That's exactly it. So there's a bit of a conversation going on here, mates, to catch up on it. So, Princess Galaxy Star states, is Queen Haven a villain? Potentially, I think. I don't know how to call her a villain, but I think she may well be a bit of a trouble causer.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of the characters that they've already announced so far, and the voice actors to them, they haven't really announced that many characters really yet. So I'm wondering if they might, the bad characters.
One second, Alpha Swell has joined us at last.
Hey, how you doing, Alpha?
Alpha, hope you're doing well. Okay, 2 seconds, mate. I'll send you a link so you can join us. 1 second, right? I'll send you an invite.
You might want to change the format again, Sam, when he comes.
Yeah, I will do, mate. I will do.
Yeah, otherwise, we're all like Skolashtin like this. We look weird.
Okay, sending you a link. There you go. That's your link, Alpha. Just wait for him to pop in. Oh, there we go. Let's add them on. There we go.
What's up?
All right, how are you doing, Alpha?
Yeah, doing good, bro.
Excellent, excellent. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening or this morning, depending on what time zone you're in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so technically, I have good news.
Oh, yes.
I was able to actually grab my hands on some of the G5 merch.
Oh.
Nice.
Do you think I can maybe show it out? If that's okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Feel free. I haven't even seen any G5 merch yet, apart from what I've seen in pictures. That's it.
All right. So, unfortunately, I was able to actually get them. For this was the first one I got.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was Sunny over here. And this one's my favorite. This really nice
Hit.
petals.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. And one more thing is from G4. I got like this little blanket I have or something. I know it doesn't look that much, but I'm using it right now.
Yeah, I've been thinking of getting a G4 blanket.
Yeah,
Why not?
using it for now. Yeah.
Right. Catch up for you, Alpha, because you've just come in. We've basically talked about possibility of where are the Alicorns, will there be any main villains, the fact that it's been confirmed the Pegasi have taken over Canterlot, and we've also discussed the possibility yet again as to whether or not Spike will be in the film or the featuring series.
Yeah, we don't know exactly, dude. We just have to wait until we can actually have some further confirmation, which I think the trailer might give us a couple of things to actually let us know what's going on.
And speaking of the trailer, we have a possible confirmation on the date.
When? Like, when is it exactly?
No, it looks like Sam's gone. I think he said that it's 20th, possibly the 20th of August.
20th of August.
Yeah. So I think that's when we're looking at. It looks like Sam's crashed.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Paramount Pictures is still trying to get all these animations in before this movie actually releases next month.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably still working on it all because of how, the CGI in it looks really, obviously, Pixar's quality. So so obviously they'll be working right up to the point of the movie going up on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, for me.
So that's probably where it is.
Oh wait, where does Sam go?
Yeah, his computer's crashed, so he'll be back in a second.
It's okay. You can let it take his time. So unfortunately, I think did you see that latest post from Equestria Daily? Like they actually have got a little bit of clips, and I found two cameos in some of the pictures.
All right, okay.
Yeah, let me just pull that up. So this book might have this is just a lot of interesting images of this children's book that there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and basically this actually kind of interested me a bit. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to load. Just take its time. All right, there you go. So basically, this first one actually gave me a little bit of a glimpse. Actually, this is the first one that I'm looking. So you see the two of them just chatting with each other. See that?
I haven't got it actually, so
Yeah.
Can I? No, I can't really do anything on my end because obviously Sam's the host, so I can't do anything.
Yeah, I got it pulled up. Maybe we can actually discuss about what is on each end.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna load everything first, and then after that, then I'm gonna do that. So let me just do that first.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, sure. Oh.
So while we're waiting on Sam, How have you been, Alpha? What have you been up to lately?
I was just I'm just kind of like a little busy, just going to school and figuring out a couple of things to finish with stuff.
Cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of glad that I'm not back. I'm not at school anymore. For
I know.
the pressures of it all.
Hmm.
What else was mentioned?
Yeah, like while I'm just like sitting here, I think I'm just gonna wait for him because while I'm just putting up my friendship bracelet.
There he's back.
Right. Okay, sorry about that. That was a temporary problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Alpha says that he's found a Equestria Daily thingy, so
I
article.
found these images that I think
Yeah.
all people could see for a second, but unfortunately, they might have a little bit. Like there was one that I found out that I immediately saw two cameos.
Okay.
There was like two cameos I found.
I don't know if, obviously, with you being the host, Sam, you might be able to pop it
Yeah,
on.
I should be able to show his screen. One
Well,
moment.
let me just first do something real quick. I have to put something on me. There we go. Yes, it's nice. All right, so we'll just do that. Oh shit!
I'm trying to remember how I do it now. Hang on. Hang on, let me try.
Oh.
If I pop you up on main.
You might be able to pop it up on your own, maybe.
On my own.
I think so, because I think there's a tab along the bottom. I don't know if you've got it. It says share. And it says share screen, so you can share your own computer screen if you wanted. I think that's one way we can do it.
Yeah, I just did that right now. I can only see my face. Not you both.
Hang on.
Right.
Let me try exit solo mode. Bring it back. I can't remember how you do it. Oh, hang on. Oh, wait. No.
I think you would just look over here, and I think it will say.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. That's it.
All right. So at least you see those 4 images. These are the ones I could find that I think that are appropriate for others to see. That I think they see it's fine. Here's the first image that I have. Yeah, you see they're just chatting with each other. That's just like kind of cute to see. I just see that. But if you look very closely, you'll see what's on the other side, right?
Yeah.
You see those 2 cameos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry
You got
Trotter.
like Harry Potter here. You got Jaws. But they're reimagined is what their thing is horns. And if I hear this, what is that name? Like this is supposed to like be Harry, Ron, and even Hermione right over here. Like you can see them very closely though. That is just so different.
Interestingly as well, that confirms that in an age where they have cinema.
Yeah, cinema. So cinemas are going to be existing. This
That
is
is
called
very
in this world. That's what they named it. So
The more and more I look at Izzy, I'm just like, yeah, I really like her design.
yeah, it looks nice. Like with the sun. Yeah, Paramount Pictures did a really good job just trying to meet the shadows, and they did awesome. Nice, they awesomely did. Yeah, and also basically there has been also confirms that they only have cutie marks on one side, and basically both of them don't. Like on one side, so it's on the other side of their flanks. So technically, it's true.
Interesting. I wonder why they only have it on one side.
That's just so weird. Yeah. The next one, this one was the one that you actually found a little bit difference here. You see that? You see?
Yeah.
This is the rest of the room. This is really modern. And
Yeah.
this is the one that caught my eye. This.
Yeah.
You know
Little
that this actually was from a book of the annual 2022, right? Like
Yes.
from that book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, that's her father. And you see that little Twilight pendant over there. Yeah. Just nice to like see her with these some of the main six in here. It's actually kind of nice to see. Actually.
There's a staff as well.
A staff? Yeah, right here, right in the back. I don't know what that is though. Yeah, I know it's a staff, but I honestly don't.
Yeah, I love it. The little figurines there she's playing with as well.
I agree, Nico. Billy Sunny is beyond precious. She is adorable.
Yeah, adorable. Yeah, Paramount did it great. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? Oh jeez. All right, next one for now. This is the one, but I think this one actually might turn some things here. You see this? You see this little bit of an aerial view?
Ooh, oh, interesting.
So this is what Zephyr Heights looks like from the outside.
Wow, that's interesting.
Big. Yeah, and its color scheme is white and gold. Kind of reminds me of Candlelight for a second there, but unfortunately, like I think what they had done was like this is actually turning my head a bit. Like basically on top of the mountain of Candlelight, there's like a little spike, but that's the thing. Like how come they actually had to do this kind of engineering in order to actually make this? This is the one that worries me a bit. Yeah,
I get a sort of a. I can only describe it as a Las Vegas theme mixed with an ancient Egypt theme. I get that.
Yeah, to be exact. Yeah, white and gold. That's a good color scheme.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do a video on these pictures. I think I haven't seen these before. Were these released recently?
Yeah, they were just released recently.
All right, I'll have to definitely do a video about them because you've definitely shown some interesting stuff.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so technically this is what it looks, and I think Petals here. I think she lives in the tallest building over here.
Right.
In this place. I think this is where they live. Right here. Yeah. And lights, they're going to be available in here, which technically technology has been modernized. So technically technology like lights, cameras. But the thing is that the one thing that kind of made me difference here, does that mean that only Zephyr Heights only produces phones? Is that what they only use? Like, is that the only do?
Good question. Oh, that's a good question. At this point in time, we don't know. We'd see. We've only seen so far Pip with a phone, so we could argue that maybe the Pegasi are a bit more advanced and they have phone communications. Not too sure on that. I am curious about in this picture on the left-hand side. I'm not too sure if that's a waterfall or if it's something else.
No, it isn't a waterfall, actually. It isn't. If it was, then there will be like a long waters coming down here.
No, it looks like it's support because if you notice there, you got those long pillars. So I think it's just support that's deep into the mountain, whatever it is.
Yeah. But that's just the thing, though. How were they able to actually just produce all of this by building it, even though that they cannot fly though, which to me they can.
Hmm.
How come they were able to actually make this kind of engineering? That is so fascinating. Actually,
It is interesting.
yeah.
I mean, there has been some rumors and speculation, haven't there, that that there could still be some that are able to still use magic in this world, even though magic as a whole or certain like the Earth ponies and so on, that magic to them is no longer used. But I'm just maybe wondering if it's only these guys that live here that still use magic. Hence why they've been able to make such a extravagant city, really.
Unless it's a city that was built before the split, if you will. Maybe this is one of the last great Pegasi cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it could be on. I'm guessing it's on top of the mountain that Canterlot's built on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just thinking myself, I'd be interested to see what's at the base of that.
Well, to bring up a question, is Canterlot in ruins?
Ooh, God, dang, that's actually a good one. We don't not know. We gotta wait until the movie comes out. Maybe they can give us a little bit of because I know that Tara Strong once said that G4 is not gonna be referenced here in G5, but unfortunately, it is.
That's not accurate because, yeah, as we've seen, we've got G4 characters in figure form, so they're there. G4 is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know how did they got separated? I know that the magic was lost, but how? How did that even happen? Like, we don't know exactly how.
The only thing I could think of at the top of my head, something happened either to the elements or something happened to the Tree of Harmony. The only two things I could think of that would cause an impact to affect the magic of the land.
Sort of. That could be one thing.
No, it's certainly interesting. It is certainly interesting. I mean, like Princess Galaxy's just come in as well, so I'm saying maybe with technology it was made with, because obviously technology.
Potentially. I mean, we could definitely say technology has come forward hugely. You know, we've got cell phones, we've got alarm clocks, we've got electricity, lighting. So potentially, yeah, maybe there is an element of building technology like we have, you know, cranes and scaffolding and lifts, you know. Potentially, yeah, it's quite possibly there. Just to quickly show up, Nico stating the following: we need to talk about how nice the animation looks, not just in the screenshots, but in the GIFs too. Yeah, the animation is gorgeous. It's very top of the line. It's very as high end as you could probably get. So my question to that, to follow that up, would be: will we get that animation in the series? Because Netflix are doing the series as well.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. Certainly, if they're gonna actually make this animation as the movie, you know how much that's gonna cost. Millions of dollars of animation. It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
No,
Not
it's not cheap. I mean, like I say, like I was saying to Alpha when you'd temporarily gone, Sam, I was saying that the animation, obviously, that they're obviously still working on this film, and you can. That's obviously probably why the trailer it hasn't, we haven't had a trailer yet or anything like that, because they're still finalizing it. But if you think about it, is that the animation style or the animation, how high quality it is. It very much is Pixar quality. You know, so I'm wondering if some of the artists or some of the people behind the scenes of this, maybe they're ex-Disney animators that are working alongside as well, because the animation is absolutely gorgeous and the character designs as well are beautiful. And as we just saw there, that city there, that Alpha just showed, absolutely incredible. It really is.
So the question is: Ponyville still around in G5?
Ooh.
I think yes, because I'm convinced that's where Sunny and the Earth Ponies live. Because originally it was an Earth Pony town.
Ooh. Oh god dang.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was,
Because,
yeah.
It might just be called something else. It might not have the same name.
I don't know because didn't they quite early on announce different cities and different towns?
Yes.
Wait.
So, was one of them like a beachside town or something like that?
Yes. I forget the name. I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah. Yeah,
So
they
I'm just
did.
thinking that maybe Sunny lives there, and maybe Izzy lives somewhere else. But I do remember that there was a couple of cities or different places that was mentioned early on. But obviously, this is the first one we've got as a high resolution image of one of them. I'm wondering if it might have a quite a. I'm wondering if the reason why this image has been shown, and unless they're just showing it because just look at how beautiful the artwork is and how detailed it is, could be that. But I'm thinking that maybe a lot of the story is based there. Maybe a lot of it is, maybe they spend a lot of time in there. Hence why they're highlighting that specific city.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
It's possible.
Pulse.
Nico's brought up a good point again. You've got to wonder, why isn't Hitch getting any merch?
Oh. Oh geez. Yeah, that is a huge difference in there. Like
He's
how
had a
come-
little bit of match.
Yeah,
A
just
little
a,
bit, but
like the Crystal Avenger set. You got all of like the 6 packages, like it comes in this one huge box, including Sprout himself. I think my theory is that I don't think he's the villain himself because he's in Maritime Bay, which means I think he could be a partner of Hitch, or he could be the police chief. He could be like
Yeah.
that is my thing. He could be it. I'm not sure.
that's the city I was thinking about, Maritime Bay, because it was like a seaside kind of city or town.
Yeah.
That's
And-
the one I was thinking about.
Yeah, and I also do want to kind of like mention something of the map of Equestria, the whole thing, because I think I just want to bring out what it exactly looks like from there today. I will actually represent that.
Nico again says, and keep in mind, this is Boulder Media's first feature-length movie. Interesting. Yeah, it would be actually, because a lot of the stuff they've made so far has been series-related cartoons.
Oh, okay.
So-
All right, ready. So,
Interesting.
yeah, technically, yeah. This is what the map looks like in G4. You got all of these cities like Manhattan, the Crystal Empire, that's where Cadence and Shining Armor live. Kennerlod, which today, well, formerly, is season 9, in the finale, that's where Twilight Sparkle lives now. But she used to live here in Ponyville. But I don't think that, for a reason, that Ponyville is going to be available again. And so every single town that you see in here, they're gone. They're gone. Every single one is gone. Like, is because this was taken 1,000 years into the future. So technically, Yakistan is gone. Lost Pegasus is gone because it's made out of clouds, and almost all of it. But we're not certain because Ponyville, I don't think it is actually here. It's just going to remain as remnants and stuff. We don't even know how it's gone. But looking at it, the thing is that Bridlewood Forest is here. So they must have actually taken over Vancouver like it said it was over here. So they're actually located. It's actually located next to the North Luna Ocean. Yeah, North Luna.
It'd be interesting to compare the full G5 map to this map, because obviously we only have sort of a very rough look at it in that picture. But it'd be interesting to compare the two, like a full G5 map versus this map.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, to be honest, that's kind
It
of
would be very interesting to see, you know, because like I say, we just don't know how far in the future it is meant to be set yet. You know, because obviously we've had. I'm thinking timescale with the technology, like the advances in technology. I'm thinking it's possibly between 200 to 300 years, but if there's been dramatic change to the landscape as you're showing there with the map, it could be a hell of a lot longer. So it makes me wonder, because obviously all the characters, like they're talking about the main, they're like images we saw of Sonny and her dad, and you kind of see the journal. I'm kind of, and then you see the little figurines that Sonny plays with when she was little, and all the little knickknacks and little things in the background that we saw in other images. You know, so it's kind of like, it makes me wonder, is that obviously they have gone down as legends, and the stories, that their stories and their missions have become legend and possibly have been put down on in print, like as a book or whatever. And it just makes me wonder, for so much dramatic change, I'm thinking it could be a good 1,000 years.
could be.
Because for a dramatic change to landscape, it would take quite a long time for that to happen. But of course, we're talking about a cartoon here, an animated film, not talking about proper physics. But well, no, I'm generally really intrigued and interested in what the world's going to be like in this new movie, and how it works, and how, you know, if they finally do find an answer to magic. And obviously, I think Sam mentioned was it the last stream we did, that apparently something with the elements of harmony are missing, or
There's a theory that this jewel heist that's been mentioned about may actually be the main group of characters effectively stealing the elements from somewhere. That's this theory. That's what this jewel house heist is.
Because it was like pitched as like a heist kind of film, wasn't it? So
yeah,
it'd be interesting. So
just to catch up in the chat real quick, lads, because we've got a few messages there. We've got a message from Ace, who's popped in, says, "Hi everyone, I've been a brony since I was 13. I'm now 21. I'm also a fairy. Welcome to Ace. Look, mate, fairies, all right with all that stuff, mate. I've been knocking around the fairy community since I was 17. So, you know, I got no...
13, bro.
Also, we got here. Nico states, "Imagine if this movie referenced The Weeknd Blinding Lights at one point, either as a snippet of the song or to make their version of it." Also, quick question: Are there any screenshots from the movie? We've just shown some. We'll probably put a full video up separately later on in a few days, where we will discuss those pictures. But yeah, we will discuss those pictures in more detail. Oh, if you do want to see them, when we finish this stream, it'll go up onto Bronies UK. It'll basically be in that stream. I can't timestamp it on here because we're live, but it will be in the stream recording.
Okay. Simple.
What else have we got? A-State.
Sam's gone again.
He's gone. What happened? Did his
She just disappeared.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
But
he's back.
No, my bloody browser stuttered there. I lost the connection. Just stating, A-States is off to Midwest Fair Convention next year. It'll be his first convention. Me and my boyfriend unfortunately can't go together. I'm bisexual with Gayleen, by the way. That's fine, mate. I don't judge people on the sexualities. Really don't bother me.
No, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so
Ace is from Mexico, he says.
Mexico. Oh,
Welcome.
long way. We've got a quite plethora mix of people all across Europe and beyond, haven't we?
Yeah, certainly an interesting bunch.
Ooh. Nico brings up a good point. What was the darkest moment in Friendship is Magic?
Ooh, that is a good question. I have
Oh.
what's wrong with me?
I'd probably say, at least from sort of, because I think in a sense she represented the first like real threat, villain wise, that they weren't prepared for, was when in season 2 finale when it's revealed that Cadence is not Cadence but an imposter and it's Queen Chrysalis, and you have just that entire moment where Twilight is just broken, everyone's left her, no one believes her. And then Cadence reveals herself as being the Changeling Queen, and she seals Twilight away in the crystal caves below Canterlot. That to me was quite a dark moment because it was sort of the only one of the few, like very few points in the series where Twilight was sort of, shall we say, temporarily defeated, and she had to sort of deal with things on her own. Not to mention by that point, not only had her friends abandoned her, but Celestia, her childhood mentor, had abandoned her as well, as no one believed her when she told them that, this isn't the real Cadence. So I would say for me, that was the darkest moment in MLP.
Yeah, pretty much. I couldn't understand what was going on, but I already knew. But to be exact, let's get back to G5 for a second. So technically, since Maritime Bay is kind of like right next to the water, or should I say the ocean, just by looking at it, they're actually kind of like right next to something called the closest location from the map of Equestria G4. I think they're kind of like right next to like the desert, like just a few like several miles away, which technically they're located somewhere around the South Luna Ocean. South Luna. Yeah, South Luna. And Zephyr Heights, they're located in the middle of Equestria, out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
If you sort of look at the G5 map, or at least the part that we can see, you've still got the railway track leading into the mountains. So I feel like we'll definitely have sort of that part of G4 is still there, but effectively it might just be a case of that. For example, Zephyr Heights, it might effectively that might be perhaps maybe that's built upon where Canterlot used to be. Because what if to say Canterlot is no longer there and Zephyr Heights replaced it? And as someone mentioned in the previous stream we did the other week, Zephyr Heights might be a reference to Fluttershy's brother, Zephyr Breeze.
Yeah.
And Princess Galaxy Star states, I feel like Sunny will meet Twilight at the end of the G5 film.
Who knows? I mean, we don't know. I mean, like I was saying earlier before Alpha joined, it's. I generally think. I mean, I'm very surprised if something like that was to happen. But I think for me personally, I think the movie is just going to be fundamentally character development, new characters, meet the new characters, their backstories, their backgrounds, and then the start of their journey. And they meet each other one by one or whatever. And like someone said earlier on, possibly Sonny and Hitch already know each other from maybe being young. I don't know, because obviously they're both earth ponies, so they would live in the same area. Or assume, but no, I mean it's kind of I found it's interesting, and plus it's hard to really put into words without a proper bit of footage like a trailer or whatever. But you know, it'd be interesting if that was to happen, like Twilight comes into it.
So Nico asks, why do they call it Zephyr Heights? Did they name it after Zephyr Breeze? If they did, what the hell did he do to get that honor? Or did Hasbro just run out of names?
Why did it go with it? Zephyr Heights. I don't know. I think I don't know who founded Zephyr Heights, but judging it, I think Zephyr Breeze might have done that. I think.
Maybe it could just be either a really subtle reference to G4, or there's more to it than that. Again, it's you know, purely me guessing on that side.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me there, that interests me the most, is I think it's more likely there is a G4 link in G5. We don't know what it is, but it could be that it's connected to, how can I put this? There's a connection. I can't put it into words. It's annoying the hell out of me. I'm trying to think of how to put this into words. Okay, so if the G4 main six are sort of treated as historic heroes, and Sonny's father is sort of almost like a history keeper or historian, then there's a G4 link, which potentially means the G4 characters may show up in G5 in some way.
Yeah, maybe so.
I know, again, the G4 actors have all said they're not in it, but again, contract reasons, you know?
Yeah, contract. But even though that Tara Strong once said that Twilight Sparkle's not coming back, and even know that there have been some G4 references in there, some figurines of her, of Twilight Sparky or something. I just don't even certain if maybe Tara Strong might come back and do it. But I may have a theory of my own.
Okay, go ahead.
The thing is, because you know that almost all of the characters, they have two different kinds of actors that they have to use. The one that does the regular acting, but the other has to do for the singing voices. So I think, according to me, I think that someone by the name of Rebecca, which does the singing voice of Twilight, I think she can do a voice impression of her just with the regular.
Yeah.
My theory is she might be doing the role for Twilight if she returns to G5. If. I'm not certain if she will, but my theory is that she might.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that. Obviously, the interview she made, like, obviously she was asked a question whether, you know, she will be reprising her role as Twilight. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean Twilight won't be a part of it in some way, or she at least comes into it as a cameo, or kind of like a past thing. You know, the kind of like maybe a dad's reading a story and it kind of comes out as like a memory, or that kind of a thing. and then obviously Twilight speaks in it. But like, it doesn't. The fact that Tara Strong probably obviously isn't coming back to voice Twilight doesn't necessarily mean she's in it. Or
Well, we don't know for that for sure, mate. I mean, again, there could well be contracts, and obviously they can't talk about them.
no, I understand that. I understand that.
I just feel like in some way they had to have the main six mentioned in some way, or have them appear in some way.
I mean, it
So-
is going to be somewhat interesting, or maybe I don't know how it would work. Mostly because the animation side, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know about the voice acting side. So obviously, it seems this looks like it's all an American voice cast anyway. So it looks like the voice side of it has been done in America. So, or by E1 possibly, because obviously E1 are working alongside Hasbro on this as well as Netflix. So I think obviously the voicing is being done in America. So to get obviously the voice actors, obviously Tara Strong, she has a dual citizenship, so she's both American and Canadian. So she can if she wanted to come back to play Twilight, if that was to happen, she can, because she lives in America, and she will be able to reprise the role if she wished to. But with the other actors like Tabitha St. Germain and Ashley Ball and all that, they're Canadian only, and the Equestria Girl films, the web series, and also Gen 4, all of it was recorded by DHX Media in Canada, except for the odd couple, like the odd couple that also live in America, which is like Tara and I think the guy who played Discord as well. Forgot his name. John Delancey. Yeah. So yeah, there was a couple of them. Obviously, have a dual citizenship, but being Canadian and American, they was able to go for it. So it'd be very interesting if they could somehow come to an arrangement like Netflix, if they can get some of the Canadian actors to come back. I don't know how that would work or how they'll be able to get around that, because it's the way it works is that any voice work in Canada, only Canadian people can do that job. Unless if you're from a different country and you live there, you've got a citizenship to live in Canada, you can work in Canada and do voice work. But it's kind of that thing. Hence why it was all kind of, obviously it was all produced and everything by Hasbro, but DHX was very much a Canadian thing. So I don't know how it would work, really. I don't know how it would work if they could manage to get, but Netflix, I think they could do it if they wanted to.
Let's dive into some questions as well.
Yeah, so technically, like I want to quick. So the person who did the voice of Discord was John Delancey.
Yeah, played Q in Star Trek.
Yep.
Yeah, John Delancey.
Yeah.
I think he's well known for playing Star Trek. There were like a couple conventions about Star Trek, but Star Trek is dead now, so technically nothing much to say about that.
Okay, so Nico, I can kind of see the movie having a scene where Sunny interacts with Twilight's spirit for a moment. If it turns out Twilight's dead for real. Interesting.
I think there will be some interaction with the G4 cast or characters or main six, if you will. Again, it's just it's very hard to really sort of debate that, because for the moment we just don't know if there is anything planned for the G5 main six. For example, here's a good thing to make out. In the 2017 film, there's all those stained glass windows that obviously show the main six.
Yep.
will they potentially make an appearance in the G5 film? Because those stained glass windows, they were literally only in the 2017 film. They were just for the film.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there was a way to kind of like stuff that happened before, kind of thing, wasn't it? It was the whole like story of what happened before the movie and everything. It was kind of, they did it cleverly in the designs. So if like anybody that came to the film. Come to the film first. It was like their first exposure of this world and these characters, which it was for a lot of people. Then it's a great way to kind of fill you in a little bit on what happened before. So
the 2017 film was very much responsible for a fresh wave of fans within the Brony fan base. It was very much responsible for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who joined the fan base within the last 3-4 years, and it was all because of the film.
And also, you've got to. What's interesting as well. Obviously, we've mentioned this a few times over the time. It's going to be interesting exactly what happens and what happens at the end of the movie, and what this 45-minute special that is also going up on Netflix will be about, because apparently that 45-minute special is an interlink between the end of the movie and the beginning of the series. That comes afterwards. So I'm kind of intrigued about what that 45-minute will be. Whether we'll probably get some sort of special interaction, or they get sent, or it's the way, or it just starts off the series. Because obviously the movie is the prelude. The movie's the prelude. It's the interaction and the character development, and then obviously the bridge gap will be kind of finally moving into the main core storyline, which is what the series probably might carry on with.
Nico states I was one of them. Basically, Nico states I became a Brony because of the 2017 film.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Interesting theory here.
Ontario. I think the main 6 are just going to be in flashbacks. That's what I was trying to say when I said like as a memory. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, like a flashback, past tense kind of thing. I generally think that could be it. I think that's when we might get a little cameos of them, but it might be little animation clips, or they might maybe redo little things. So it works well, with the new animation style. I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see Gen 4 art design with the 3D CGI alongside it. It would be interesting to see that contrast, but I don't think that'll be.
Interestingly, you can look at some images, shall we say, or artwork of the main 6 G4 in the style of G5, because there has been some sets released that basically have the G5 G4 characters together. And it does feature artwork on the box of the G4 characters, but in the style of the G5 animation.
No.
Which leads me to question: Will the main 6 be in G5 in some way? Because again, they're showing up in the merchandise now.
Yeah, they are, but again, it really does depend on the time gap, because the rest of Twilight's friends at the end of season 9 and the finale, they was all relatively pretty old then. So if we're talking at least 100 years, they'd be gone. But I think Twilight will be still alive.
I just had a thought. What about Little Cheese?
Little Cheese, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Sam's gone again. He's having some problems tonight. Oh, that's interesting. You're back again. What are you doing, Sam? Stop playing.
It's the browser. The browser just crashed twice on me in the last 20 minutes.
Get a better browser. Anyway, so what was you saying a minute ago about something?
I was saying how,
Oh, Little Cheese.
yeah,
Oh.
with Little Cheese and obviously Pinkie Pie's. I don't know. Is Pinkie Pie's son, daughter? I'm not 100% sure.
It's actually a daughter, actually.
Right. Well, if we know that obviously she had a child, so will her child, her descendants, possibly be in this or mentioned in some way?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or they could still be alive. They could still be alive at the time of this movie. You never know, do you? I mean, she was only a little baby at the end of the finale. But again, if it's over 100 years, then unfortunately it won't be. But the thing is, it's I don't know really. Generally we just don't know without having a. All we know is there's a time gap. We haven't been given a number, so we can only guess that it's at least 100 years. Because for so much change and for
It'll
the
be more than
landscape
that.
kind of thing,
It
has
has to be more than that.
at least 100 years. I think it'll be more, but I think at least 100-year gap. At least, very least. But if you wanted to go to the extreme, maybe at least 1,000. And if it is 1,000, then I think they'll all be gone, to be honest, except for maybe those that have very long lifespans. I mean, look at Celestia and Luna. I brought this up a couple of times, but obviously this was before Alpha joined us. But look at Celestia and Luna. They were at least 1,000 years old, and they still looked relatively youthful because they were alicorns. So, and they brought the night and brought the day and all that, lowering the all that kind of thing with the magic. So I'm generally thinking that if Twilight was still alive, would she still have a youthful look like Twilight, like Celestia and Luna did? Or would she?
Well, yeah, in theory. In theory, she should do.
Because Celestia and Luna never aged. They literally looked. Obviously, they did age. Obviously, they grew up from being fillies or whatever to being a fully grown adult alicorn. But yet they kind of like stopped at that point. You know what I mean? That they stopped at being an adult, like a young adult, but they never grow old. If you know what I mean. But that's the beauty of the magic. But if the magic's gone, what makes you think that maybe she has aged? Because if the magic's no longer there,
potentially, yeah, that's potentially. I mean, just to bring in Nico's question here, I still can't get over the fact that Pinkie was the only one from the main six to be a mum, while the others didn't. Rarity most likely stayed single the rest of her life, which is sad.
The thing is, though, is there any actual canon thing to say that Pinkie Pie was the only one to be a mum?
As far as I'm aware, canon-wise, she is the only one that has a child.
That's interesting.
But that's not the question. How come he still has the child, though? I don't understand. I think she must have a husband.
Oh yeah, it was Cheese Sandwich.
Yeah, Cheese Sandwich. They're both potty ponies, and technically, yeah. Like you see how Gummy actually went from like a little lizard to a big one, like 50 years later. Yeah, there was just a short glimpse of him. He's pretty hilarious.
It is kind of a shame that came to be. I mean, it would have been nice to see if Twilight had a kid, and would have been nice to see if Rarity at least met somebody. I mean, it's one of those things. Maybe they kind of, because the whole idea of the show, it wasn't really about relationships, was it per se? Because like Megan McCarthy and everybody behind the scenes that did the story for the show and everything, they always said that it's not about relationships per se. It's about these characters going on these quests and these missions, and friendship is magic and all that.
I'll be back.
Okay. But no, that's what the whole core purpose of the show was about, wasn't it?
It was.
It's not really about the relationship, so maybe that's why they only had one character have a kid, but obviously, Fluttershy and Discord became a couple, which that was obvious. So that at least two of the characters became a couple, but yet there's this speculation of Rainbow Dash and Applejack being a couple, but I don't think they are.
No,
I think,
that was confirmed by the actual writers.
So they are a couple.
Yeah, if you actually look at the main six in the end of it, if you sort of break it down like this, at least this is how I see it anyway. So Rainbow and Applejack are together, obviously, so they don't have a child unless maybe they adopt. But let's just say, for the sake of it, they don't have a child because obviously, then so that takes you down to 4 left of the main 6. Pinky has a child, so take her out of the equation. That leaves you with 3. So I make the assumption that Twilight can't have children because she's an Alicorn, and well, for whatever reason, Alicorns cannot have children. No, wait, they can, because Cadence has a child. Damn.
Of course.
Okay. Okay, so ignore that. So, okay. So out of Twilight, Rarity, and Fluttershy, then, I have this sort of theory that Fluttershy just never meets anybody. Rarity probably could have had plenty of suitors, plenty of young stallions that were interested, but for whatever reason, she wasn't. And then maybe Twilight just didn't have the time. She was just too busy to form a relationship with someone. Or some pony, should I say. So let's just bring up a few questions here. So, Antero states, who will raise the sun and moon if Twilight is gone? Well, interestingly, in like the way it sort of works before Celestia and Luna in the series, the sun and the moon were raised by a big group of unicorns. So either the unicorns are still somehow doing that, or the sun and the moon are just naturally raising on their own.
Yeah.
Again, if there's no magic in the world, I would assume that. Princess Galaxy Star. If Twilight got married, she would marry Flash Sentry. Ironically, speaking of Flash Sentry, his character, in a lot of ways, they were sort of setting things up with him, not just in Equestria, but not just with MLP, but also in Equestria Girls. But they sort of removed him as a love interest for Twilight. But yeah, if she actually did end up getting married, yeah, I could see it being Flash Sentry. And then Nico states, so in Fim, AJ hooked up with Rainbow Dash, but in EQG, she has the hops for Rarity. So Hasbro makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know in Equestria Girls, there's a lot of debate over the likes, dislikes, sexuality of the characters. I know that like one of the popular theories is that Twilight and Sunset are interested in each other. I'm aware of that. I'm not too sure about the rest of the main 7, should I say, from Equestria Girls. I'm just familiar with the Sunset Twilight relationship, which in my opinion, I really like that relationship. It's actually one of my favorite ships from the series. Probably because one of my favorite Equestria Girl fanfics is Long Road to Friendship, which is heavily featured about Twilight and Sunset. It's a really good story. It's generally, I think the thing is we have to sort of remember as well that they never finished Equestria Girls. It sort of just ended. So ultimately, we never really got to see how it was going to end. Although, again, it's sort of been revealed that the end game for it all, for Equestria Girls, you were going to find out basically where the sunset shimmer of that world was, and sort of find out all about her. But that was sort of going to how it was going to end. But ultimately, yeah, Equestria Girls is a very much unfinished series. There's so much more we don't know. And it's very clear that the direction... Sorry, I'm rambling on here, but, I get on a tangent. I do like Equestria Girls. But there is this whole sort of thing that Equestria Girls is heading towards a big finale involving the Equestria Girls universe and the Pony universe potentially merging. But again, we never got the finish of it. And just to bring in Princess Galaxy Star, there is an MLP5 MLP G5 Equestria Girls. That would be amazing. Right. G5 Equestria Girls. This is going back at least a year, but as John knows, because I've mentioned this a few times, there was a mysterious image that appeared on a Brony Reddit post about a year ago that showed Sunset Shimmer, but in a 3D design that looked like an early design for basically the G5 CG rendering.
Should don't find it and then put it on the screen so
if you
people
can find it, mate, give it a try, because I've been unable to find it, and I've been looking for it for the last few months. But ultimately, this image led people to believe that Equestria Girls may be coming back, and it may be taking up the same kind of CGI style that G5 is. I don't think they're done with G5 and Equestria Girls. I just think they're waiting to announce the future of it, because it never had a proper end. It just sort of stopped. So yeah, a G5 Equestria Girls, I'm all for it. I'd love to see it. And also, just to let everybody know, once the trailer's released, we will do a live stream where we will openly discuss the trailer, and we will actually stream the trailer on here. We can do that. I've looked into it. We can actually stream the trailer. That's fine for us to do. Obviously, we can't do the film, but we can definitely stream the trailer.
Okay, cool.
Annoying itch. So, let me query everybody on the chat. Does anybody have a sort of Holy Grail MLP collection? Like, if you've all got MLP merchandise, doesn't matter if you don't, but if you do have any MLP stuff, do you have like a Holy Grail prize, like that one, like pony related thing you own that you wanted to get hold of for years and you finally got hold of it? Nico brings a good point. I remember seeing that 3D Sunset pic. Love Sunset, really do. The 3D thing looked terrifying. Sunset's fan-made SM model looked way better than that. Well, on top of that, yeah, I too love Sunset Shimmer. She's awesome. But that 3D rendering we're talking about, I think that might have been like a very early design, or potentially at most an unfinished fan project. We don't know. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen it in over a year. I have no idea if it's even still knocking around. Nosy, have you found anything by any chance?
No, I'm just looking. I haven't found anything yet.
I mean, it's always interesting how Equestria Girls, because when it was first announced, a lot of fans were very unsure about it, because obviously ponies turning into humans. There's a lot of unsure about it. A lot of people weren't too certain. But Equestria Girls became very popular. I would probably say it was largely thanks to Sunset's character as to why it became so popular. But it did, to a certain extent, result in there is sort of a split within the fan base. I don't know much about it, but I do know that there are, I believe anyway, groups of fans who are purely Equestria Girls fans. They're not like MLP fans. They're just fans of the Equestria Girls stuff. But yeah, Sunset Shimmer all the way. I love her. She's awesome.
Sunset Shimmer's my waifu.
I was waiting for somebody to say that.
No, I can't find anything. The only stuff I've seen is kind of like fan. Basically, has anybody seen Awesome as I Wanna Be, but done in CGI?
Yes.
That scene from Equestria Girls, Rainbow Rocks. I've found some images, but it's basically that kind of CGI. So I think it's just fan made. But I can't find that one. I know what you're on about. It was quite a bad image, and it was just kind of like a partial facial look of her, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a YouTube video on that. I think it was on YouTube that was found. But I can't find anything at the minute.
No, I'm just having a quick look myself, but it's no, I can't find anything either. I mean, the problem is when you sort of go looking for things like this, you're not necessarily going to find it.
No.
Ginger asked, sorry, could I get a recap of what you were talking about? I couldn't find my phone, so I missed out. Oh, well. We've been talking about the mysterious sunset shimmer image that appeared on the internet about a year ago, which appeared to show what looked like an early 3D render of sunset shimmer, which led a lot of people to believe that there may be plans to release an Equestria Girls G5, essentially Equestria Girls in the animation style of G5. And well, Knowles has been trying to find thing because basically I remember watching a video on YouTube about a year ago, and it was another Brony channel, and somebody was talking about it, and they even had a picture of it that they had off Reddit. And I've never been able to find that video since. I've never been able to find the picture since. So if we could find it, we might actually be able to prove that there might well be something in the works for a next gen G5, like, Equestria Girls G5. No problem, no Ginger. But yeah, that's basically what we've been talking about. I'm just going to run a quick search through it, but I mean, there's plenty of fan animations, but this animation that I know I saw. Can't find it anywhere. Nico asks, I'm all for G5 take on Equestria Girls, especially after Hasbro pulled the plug on the original franchise. But if it really happens, I hope it looks good, or at least decent. Hopefully it will. I mean, at the moment, there is basically nothing about Equestria Girls being talked about. Obviously, the only thing Hasbro seems to be focusing on, at least officially, is G5 of MLP. Potential. I don't think Equestria Girls will be forgotten. I think they'll bring it back. But yeah, I'd agree. It would have to look good. But we have zero information on it. That's the problem. I don't think there's no real rumors either. There's just too much we could guess at. But it's just sort of the weird thing. I wonder, Equestria Girls. Suppose there's any information if we look into like the future of the franchise. Let's have a quick look. Well, that was 2 years ago, so that's not quite in date.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I can't find anything at all. I don't know if it was touched upon by another Brony, MLP YouTuber, to be honest. Because I think I remember watching a video where it was brought up with, but I don't know who it was.
it might well have. There's not a lot to really go on. And Ginger says, could the upcoming 40-minute special be Equestria Girls? Nah, very unlikely. The 40-minute special has been confirmed to basically be linked into G5, so it's very unlikely to be Equestria Girls. Alpha, welcome back.
Thanks. You probably didn't nose me there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, to be honest, I know this movie's kind of like a little bit longer, but yeah, like on its way. I'm actually getting a G5 shirt. I think I'll be wearing next week when we start another live stream or something. Then after that,
Yeah.
then we're gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting some G5 t-shirts.
Yeah, I'm just getting one because it's just me.
I've got one G4. I've got Princess Luna t-shirt.
Cool. Yeah, the reason why I was just taking so long was because I was making this.
Ah, right. To bring up Princess Galaxy Star's quick question, which is interesting. I wonder if Sunny will become an Alicorn princess. It can happen. I'd hope not. I hope it's not happened earlier. Hasn't there been some picture release or of like a plushie of her as an Alicorn?
I don't know.
No, but
I
that's
haven't
the
seen
toy of it.
The thing is, if you go on.
Because I mean, just on the subject of Sunny becoming an Alicorn, anybody remember when Build-A-Bear did that limited run where they had an Alicorn version of Rarity and Applejack?
Yeah.
And a lot of people asked about that, and it was just like it basically turned out to be like a special edition thing, which because I know at the time people thought that meant all the main sticks were going to become Alicorns. But I'd definitely be interested to see whether or not Sunny did become an Alicorn. In a lot of ways, I hope not, because it would be way too much borrowing off G4 if they did that. It just wouldn't work.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think I'd really like it if they went down that road again, because they already did that with Twilight, and it kind of caused a bit of a separation with fans, like those that preferred Twilight as an Earth pony, and then when she became an Alicorn, some fans were a bit don't like it and kind of didn't carry on with the series after that.
Some fans weren't happy when Spike got his wings,
Yeah.
which was really weird because it was sort of the only it was the only bit of character development he actually had as a character.
Yeah, it was.
At least big bit of character development.
Yeah,
I mean, to be
I like
honest,
this
I
image
don't.
when I actually pull up. I think it's a really good, hilarious face. This is what I found.
The serious looking Hitch. Why do I get the feeling that Izzy's doing something and he's just not happy? That's like the face you make when Pinkie Pie is there. That looks like Izzy's. That's an Izzy look. Izzy's doing something.
Oh no, I don't know what he's doing. Like, look at his face. This is like, I'm so bored right now, frustrated. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, pretty much. I think that's one of the hilarious faces I've seen, actually.
Just like,
Yeah, just literally did.
And
Yeah,
Nico
just-
states, I've been a brony for a little over 4 years. I still have no MLP match in any shape or form. That's fine. I only started getting merchandise probably within the last 4 or 5 years. I don't really own a lot either. But yeah, that face is begging to be a meme. That is a meme face. Wow, that's one hell of a sneeze.
What's wrong with that? Think I just tell you for nothing and then I just burst out. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I just can't think about it right now.
Ginger says, "Bless you, Alpha."
Well, actually, technically, to be honest, that was a fake sneeze. Yeah, that was a fake. Even though it sounded real, yeah, I'm kind of like a little bit of an acting person.
Nico says that face is begging to be a meme. Yeah.
Anybody has anything they want to put in the chat, feel free, because I'm starting to run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. If anyone wants to ask me, Seven John, or I, then you can ask me that. Don't worry.
To be honest, I've got nothing to really say either, to be honest. Unless you wanted to consider bringing it to an end, whatever. See you, Sam.
See so?
I'll leave it another half hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give it another half hour.
Okay.
Yeah, because only Ginger and Nico are in here. I checked the participants list. Oh, wait, Nico actually just said something. He said, something tells me G5 is going to have a pretty big focus on comedy. Let's just hope they don't go too far with it.
Yeah.
I think there would be comedy, but I don't think it would be too much because you don't want to overshadow the show's sort of real intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind a bit of a good mix, where there's like something might happen and it's kind of a comedic thing. I think the comedy is going to mostly come from Izzy.
Oh yeah.
I generally think she's going to be the essence of the sauce. Like Pinkie Pie was the main source of the comedy in G4 for the most part, even though sometimes Twilight became more comedic relief in some regards when she was panicking or having a bit of an anxiety attack over something not working, or like in the movie when she was hyperventilating, when she was, talking about her plans for the festival or whatever, the festival she was planning or whatever it was. But no, I mean, I think most of the comedy is going to come from Izzy. You can kind of see that the way she is.
Yeah.
It's in a sense they're obviously, as we've discussed in the past, they're trying to bring a lot of the tropes through of the main six into the new G5 groups, which again as we've discussed in the past many times, are they any way related to the main six? I mean, they may not be, but I still get a lot of sort of. I mean, like I keep saying, Sunny looks so much like Apple Bloom. She's got Apple Bloom in her, so I'm really curious about that.
Or maybe she's related to the Apples, or the Apple family, in some way. Because there was quite a big generation of them in Gen 4, wasn't there? You had Granny Smith, and then you had distant uncles and aunties and all that. That kind of come into it now and again.
Well, Antero states Flurry Heart must be alive because she was a baby at the end of G4. Yeah, potentially Flurry Heart. Yeah, but Flurry Heart potentially could easily be in G5. That would make sense.
Maybe they meet her. Because obviously we only saw her as a baby in Gen 4. So,
yeah,
I think obviously in the end finale, you kind of see her a bit older, don't you? I think.
Yeah, so she's kind of like technically a little bit older.
Yeah, but with her essentially being an Alucon, and she was a fully, she was a full-on Alucon. She was born one. So it's kind of like, I think she would certainly still be alive. Certainly still be alive. So I'm kind of leading towards that. A character from Gen 4 that they might come up against or they might meet. I think I'm tossing it between Flurry Heart's a good shout and Spike. Because with him being a dragon, I don't think he can live as long as like an Alucon, but his species do live a long time. So he's a good shout as well. And plus,
God, what are you doing?
So, another question from Nico here. While we're talking about Flurry, how come we never saw her as a teenager or an adult? Yet another huge wasted potential for G4. You know what? If there's one thing that Hasbro, the writers, sort of never did well oh bloody, I'll get my words out. That they never did well in G4 was there was so many plot holes, so many unanswered questions, and yeah, Flurry Heart was a character who they introduced and did absolutely nothing with. Not to mention she was like meant to be the first natural born Alucon who was born an Alucon. They did nothing with her. I get the impression that they were meant to have done something with her, but they just never bothered.
Yeah. Yeah, there was unfortunately quite a bit of wasted potential. The whole thing was Spike. That you generally even the writers said that. Remember, was it season 2 or season 3 when there was that extra element, and then a lot of fans were asking questions like, "Was that a mistake?"
Yeah, and they said it wasn't.
That wasn't a mistake. That was an intentional thing.
Yeah, they pretty much confirmed Spike was supposed to be a 7th element, but they just never went anywhere with it.
It just never happened. And then as the series went on, Spike was involved less and less, and he kind of stayed back at the palace, didn't he, with Big Mac and everything, and did stuff there. And it was a shame because I would like to have seen a bit more from him and not just him, but other characters, side characters that I quite liked. And I mean, even Discord. There was a Discord. You didn't see Discord for quite a long time. Sometimes as the seasons went on, and then obviously in the finale and everything, he was there in the finale, obviously. But I don't know. There's certain aspects. I mean, I love Gen 4. I love Friendship is Magic. I love that series. I mean, I don't have any massive negative gripes with it. I enjoy it for what it was, and it brought a lot of people together. People that love to make music, art, cosplay, all that kind of stuff. It brought all those people together, and people that just love animation in general. Like myself, I'm just a big fan of animation, and that's what got me into it in the first place was the animation style of the show anyway, how beautiful and vibrant it was. And it was like leagues apart of what other cartoons were on at the time. Because a lot of cartoons kind of go through the thing where the proportions are all a bit weird. Like maybe they've got a big head and a small body or whatever. And it's kind of like with MLP, it was just a beautiful art style, and it was, it was really beautiful, and that's what got me into it. And the music as well was great.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have anything massively negative, but I do have a few gripes that I would like to have seen a bit more development of, mostly Spike, because I feel sorry for Spike, really.
Spike. because if I was able to actually talk about, tell the G4 cast what are their thoughts about it, I don't know how their reactions are going to be because I'm not even certain how I could do that. If I can ask them, what are your thoughts about the new G5 and stuff? Actually,
Oh, excuse me.
So Nico states, since they have a YouTuber voicing Zip in the film, imagine if they have a surprise Brandon Rogers cameo in it.
a what?
Brandon Rogers cameo. Basically, sort of, a cameo is when you have like an actor in a very small scene. So effectively, it'd be like, I don't know, it'd be like having Mark Hamill show up in a film for like 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a little different.
Yeah, just FYI, Brandon Rogers is another YouTuber as well, pretty high YouTuber. I've never heard of him myself, but
I don't even know half of the high up YouTubers. There's too many of them. Well, I don't really follow YouTube that much outside of the channels that I follow, so I ain't got a clue. Right. Just a heads up, we're gonna end this stream in about 10 minutes.
no problem. Plus, we've got to be careful with how much time we use as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we are limited on a free account. So
I mean, it's meant to re-thingy after a month, but
yeah.
I generally don't know when that month was, when the very.
Well, as long as we have enough hours to do a massive one for the trailer in probably like 2 weeks, that's what we need anyway.
No, I think so. I mean, end of the day, I think we get, was it 20 hours?
Yeah, about that.
And 20 hours is a lot for streaming, really. But again, as long as you don't do 5 hours per stream, then you probably
Nah.
go through it in about 3 weeks.
So I'm checking my calendar right now, and basically, since people say that the trailer might come in August 20th, by looking at this, it's gonna happen somewhere around next week on Friday. To be honest.
Yeah.
That's the theory. I mean, if it happened next week, Friday, then ultimately we would be doing a stream very likely Saturday.
Yeah, because actually we could do it like next week at what? Maybe we can do it somewhere around like 3 p.m. maybe. Like by looking at your time, I think it's gonna be 8 over there. Where you
About
live
8
in
o'clock,
Hull, in the UK.
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly. All right. Yeah, honestly I think I should start hiding out. There's something I have to do. I'm sorry, but I have to go.
Nah, it's all right, mate. If you need to head off, no worries.
Yeah. So I think I'll see you guys next week and stuff.
Will do.
I will set my calendar for Saturday at 3 p.m. Yours is 8. So technically, yeah, maybe it might come in on the 20th. I don't know. But I'm not gonna watch it. Well, I'm gonna be watching it first on Friday, and then after that, I will watch it with you guys on Saturday.
Nah, no worries. No
No worries.
problem, mate.
All right.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Well, I gotta go. All right.
All right.
See you guys.
See you later.
See you,
All right. See you, man. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye.
Let's just quickly catch up. So, Glitter Song, hello to you. Welcome. UK bound. So that's the 3rd UK person. We've got most people are sort of across the pond, I believe. Right, guys. So we're probably going to wrap this stream up soon. Maybe in about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. If there's anything anybody wants to mention in the chat, please do. Because ultimately we are kind of running out of things to talk about. Yeah, we're just running out of stuff. So yeah, if anybody wants to talk about anything in the chat, let us know. And as I said, Glitter Song is your OC pony. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, very nice. I too have an OC pony called Blazing Snow. Which, Nosy, have you actually got around to doing that commission for me yet? Probably not. It was set a number of years ago. I asked you, I believe.
Well, if it was a number of years ago, I've obviously forgotten.
Well, never mind. I just realised. I think I asked you to do.
Remind me again, and while I'm off, I can probably get it done.
Yeah, I'll remember because it just occurred to me that I asked you to draw up my OC because I wanted to sort of get a proper look at if I imagine him for the fanfic that I have yet to finish writing after after like 2 years. I still need to get around to picking up my fanfic again. But yeah.
This is a good point that Antrio says. The problem I had with G4 was that the main 6 were too forgiving. I would like to see the main 6 not forgive someone. Well, there was one, wasn't there? Was it that little kid that they kind of like?
Yeah. What was her name? I completely forget her name now. But just to zip back really quickly to Glitter Song real quick, mate. Glitter Song states, Ira Brody. Well, welcome. We guessed. Are you excited for the new movie? Yeah?
Yep.
We've basically been talking about it for like the last 2 hours. It's basically all we've been talking about. Thank you, Glitter Song. Cozy Glow. Thank you. Yes, Cozy Glow. I couldn't remember her name. But yeah, because... Right, I have to be honest, but with Cozy Glow, anybody else feel like sort of the way she was treated was a bit extreme? I mean, she was just a child who kind of went a little bit crazy, and her punishment was she was locked away in Tartarus, which is basically hell.
Yeah.
And she was locked away with Tyrek, one of the biggest villains he ever fought.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
I think that was the only one that they actually properly punished. Properly punished.
Ginger asks a question. Is it okay if you guys describe what type of OC you would want to look like? I'm working on artwork. I still need to know. Well, Ginger, to give you a bit of an estimate, my OC as to how I see him, his name's Blazing Snow. Basically, picture a young Alicorn colt, pure white, with teal-coloured eyes, the same colour eyes that Luna has, and his cutie mark is basically basically sort of like a snowstorm. That's basically how I've always pictured him.
I've never really thought of an OC for myself, really. Or just thought of one like as an imagination thing. I think for me, because I love Rainbow Dash, so I would probably say my OC personally would be probably a Pegasi. Color, I don't really know. Maybe a black version of like a male version of Rainbow Dash, but black. With a short mane, because obviously I've got barely any hair, so it'd be like a short mane. Probably, I don't know, something like that. I mean, I love black, and you don't see many black ponies.
No worries, Ginger. You're welcome, mate. Glitter Song states, I'm a Pegasus. Out of interest, Glitter Song, is the thumbnail, is that your OC? Or, I can't quite tell because it's kind of hard to tell with thumbnails, but is that your OC, or is that just like a generic picture from the show, out of interest? Nico states, my OC has always been a male wolf, but I'll probably make a pony version of him sometimes down the road.
Man, love wolves.
Ironically, my persona is a wolf, although don't know him that well because I've only really sort of dived into that side of me in the last very recently, so I don't know too much about that side of myself yet. But I've always seen him as a wolf. More of like an anthropomorphic wolf, though. Right. Well, yeah. So Glitter confirms that is Hero C. Nice. Kind of hard to fully make out, but yeah. Pink Pegasus with sort of long blonde hair, or long blonde mane, if I'm right. Right. Blonde hair, blue eyes, light purple body. That's the OC. Yeah. Nice.
No.
OCs are always interesting to look into. Right, hate to be a downer, guys, but at 10 minutes, and then we're going to be ending the stream in about 10 minutes. Oh, Ginger, you had to talk about My Little Dashie. That is, yeah, that does make you cry. That is a really, really, really good, little live action thing. I know it's based off a fanfic, but yeah, that is a really quite emotional story to watch.
Yeah, that was.
You had to bring that up, but yeah, it is beautifully well done.
Also, here's an interesting question: has anybody seen any of the spoof stuff based on MLP, like the funny like fan creations that people have done?
Well,
on
like
YouTube?
the Friendship is Witchcraft.
A little bit like that, like you know, the one that I always thingy one, like hey hey hey, that one, you know,
Yeah.
stay out of my shit. That's my favorite. I just wondered in the chat, has anyone else have got one that's a favorite, like a specific channel that does spoofy videos based on the characters? Do you, Sam?
There's a few. Obviously, Friendship is Witchcraft is a favorite of mine. I do like that. What else? Glitter Song mentions I think the Rainbow with Powerpuff Girls 1. I think it's called the Double Rainbow. That's a really good one. Nico states, imagine an R-rated gory take on Fim, while still having a lot of black comedy in it, kind of like Hell of a Boss, minus taking a place in hell. Nico, out of interest, two quick questions. One, have you heard of the infamous fanfic Cupcakes? If you have, there is an actual full animation someone did for it, and it is just probably the most spine-tingling thing I've ever seen come out of the MLP fan base.
Also, it has to be said, Smile HD.
Oh yeah, Smile HD is another good example as well. That's just like
smile.
Yeah, ponies meets Dragon Ball Z meets a crazy Pinkie Pie with Dragon Ball Z powers. It's really weird.
Hey, hey, hey. What did I say about going in my shed?
Glitter Song does. I don't like Smile HD. Let Ginger sorts out. Yeah, Nico confirms. Yeah, I've heard of Cupcakes and I've seen the animation. Yeah, Cupcakes is almost quite infamous within the Brony circles because I believe it was the first kind of grimdark, gory, horror-esque fanfic, or at least it was the first one that really took up traction because just how kind of spine-tingly chilling it is. It is very well written as well. So I think it's potentially it's the most well-known one, closely followed by, is it the Rainbow Factory, I believe it's called. That's another really well-known one. Seeing Smile HD still makes me shiver. Yeah, there is some really just amazing stuff out there from animation-wise for MLP. One of my all-time favorite animated songs for MLP is Lullaby for a Princess. That is just so well done, and it's beautifully animated, and it's got a lot of emotion to it. It's got a lot of heart. It's a pretty sad story in that song.
Yeah, they are a duo cartoonist.
Yeah. What happens with you, a cartoonist?
I don't know. Literally, one of the most viewed videos I've ever done on this channel was me talking about the deletion of that channel of Duo Cartoonist, and there's never been an official explanation as to why. The only the only thing people really kind of thought of was that apparently they were talking about moving on to new things, other than MLP. But I generally think the reason why the channel was gone, I think they got a cease and desist from Hasbro.
Right.
I generally think they got a cease and desist, but it also happened at the time of the copper thing coming in.
Yeah, but I know that if I'm right, I think quite a lot of their work is still on YouTube. You know, like Lullaby for a Princess is still on YouTube, which I'm so thankful for because I didn't start to disappear.
A lot of other people for other channels that loved those videos that they've re-uploaded them on other channels, so they are still there. But unfortunately, the main source, the main channel, the main people that made those videos aren't around anymore on this platform. And you know, it's unfortunate, but I generally think it was a cease and desist. I think they got a cease and desist, or they just ended. They just decided to just end it, and there's just no explanation. Even Equestria Daily asked a question, and there's just not been an actual answer.
It might have had something to do with the time scale, because I mean, like Lullaby for a Princess, I think that was like in development for something like 2.5 years. So I get that it could be any number of things. It could be, you know, cease and desist. It could be the copper thing, or it could just be that, you know, they just didn't have the time to keep doing it. We've now got someone asking, Glitter's asking, is it just me or is everyone forgetting Pony Life? Nico responds, sorry, Glitter, Pony Life was terrible. At least it was to me. I will fully admit right now, I only ever watched 2 episodes of Pony Life, and that was it. I could not get into it. I will admit that. I tried, I gave it a watch, but I just couldn't get into it. It just didn't really do anything for me. It was too different. Yeah.
I was the same. I think I've only seen maybe 2-3 episodes of Pony Life. Each to their own and all. You know, because there are people out there that do like it. But nah. I mean, I've got nothing against the chibi kind of style of the characters. I've got nothing wrong with that at all. It's much more kiddified compared to the main show. Even though the show, the Friendship Magic, obviously it was meant for kids. You know, it was quite a like an innocent thing at the beginning, but then it kind of started to become a bit more mature. There was more mature themes, and there was little things in the background and things out that only people that were older would understand, and that's what really attracted a lot of attention from older people, like you know. But no, I mean, Pony Life, I might maybe go back and give it a bit more of a watch, just to give it a bit more of a watch. But it's just not for me personally, really.
All right, about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to wrap things up.
Sounds good.
I don't quite understand what Pony Life what its sort of conception was about, because ultimately Pony Life to a certain degree, because when it was sort of first announced, before anybody knew what it was, there was some debate as to whether or not it was going to be sort of a bit of a continuation of G4, or like classed as like G4.5, if you will. But ultimately, I think the idea behind Pony Life was it was more like just a mini YouTube series sort of aimed at a much younger audience than what MLP was aimed at.
Yeah. I think it was just, again, Hasbro were wanted to do another toy line. Just a chibified, more child orientated toy line of chibified MLP characters. So I just generally think they just decided to make it as a web series. It's so that's what it is. It's just a little web series to help sell the toys. I mean, you know. At the end of the day, that's what Hasbro's all about, selling toys.
And again, Nico again makes the point. I like how they officially made Sunset bisexual character, but I don't like how they never really did anything with it. It's like a lot of characters, you know, a lot of characters in MLP, Equestria Girls. They didn't really do a lot with them. Gingras, I've been wondering, what do you guys think EASPP? It's all right. If typo problems. Did you know Minty's in Pony Life? No, I didn't know that actually. I know isn't Minty a G3 pony, I believe. Oh yeah, Minty's a G3 pony, yeah. I gave G3 a watch, but I couldn't get into that either. I think I was too much of a G4 fan. I don't think I can really get into much else.
I've never been a big fan of the previous MLP. Like, I mean, I've tried to watch the original, and it's just like no. Literally, Gen 4, Friendship is Magic was my only exposure to ever really watching a series based on an MLP property. I was never interested when I was a kid growing up, and I've gone back to check out like Gen 3 and all that, and I just it's certainly more for girls. Let's just put it that way. I mean, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just the tone of the original MLP. Excuse me. You know, the tone for the original MLP stuff, like Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, whatever, they were much more for the little girls. I mean, obviously, Friendship is Magic was really aimed at little girls as well, but, you know, the whole going to the gala, dressing up in dresses, all that kind of thing was obviously for little girls and whoever, but for me personally, it kind of became a little, obviously after, you know, once they knew that they were generating an audience of older people, not a bit more of an older audience than what it was originally meant for, it became different. It became a little bit more neutral. So they had stuff in there that was more, you know, that would probably get the attention of boys and men, and same thing with women. So that it became a neutral thing in the end.
Well, Ginger asks, I've been wondering, what do you think was the first ever girl-like TV show that had a huge male fan base like MLP? I could think of it. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'd agree on that, because I was thinking back sort of early thousands, but yeah, if you go back to sort of the late 80s, early 90s, then yeah, Sailor Moon, I would agree on that, mate. It would definitely be it.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, then Glitter Song asks, is G5 for boys and girls? I guess MLP for everybody. To be honest, Glitter Song, I get the impression that G5 will try and balance things out, because let's be honest, G4 was obviously aimed at girls. It was aimed at, shall we say, 7, 8, 9-year-olds, largely female audience. And I think Hasbro were quite surprised and shocked when it turned out the biggest audience was largely men, probably aged about, what was it? I think they did a survey into it, didn't they? Wasn't like the average age of your actual MLP fan usually male, about 25 to 35 or something like that? Like outside of the actual target demographic, which apparently only made up about 5% of the actual audience. Glitter Song 20. Yeah, that'd sound about right. I mean, there is a reason for that. There is actually a pretty important reason why MLP became such a huge thing. We're actually running over time here. We were supposed to have ended the stream about 5 minutes ago. Okay, we'll give it 15 minutes then. 15 more minutes, then we'll end it. So 11 o'clock on our side of the pond. And we will end it. The thing with MLP, I think the reason why Friendship is Magic became so popular, at least the way I look at it, life not to sort of show my age to the young people on the chat, but life can be pretty dull at times. Life can be a slog. Life can be annoying. Life can just get you down. And I think when MLP came around, for a lot of people, it was a breath of fresh air. It was the first animation style series that had come out in years. The characters were relatable and likable. The stories were great. And for a lot of people, I just think it was just a good way to lose themselves in escapism and just forget about life. And Glitter Song states, I'm 14 years old. Well, that makes us feel ancient because, you know, we're a lot older than 14. That makes us feel really old. We're not that old. We're not that old. We're just, let's just say when you were 7, let's just say, put it this way, we would have been... Well, we would have been like our mid-20s. So, yeah, hell of an age difference there. Right, Nico, I'm going to hit the sack now. It's been getting pretty late for me. Tired as hell. See you later. All right, Nico, take care. Look after yourself.
Cheers again, Nico.
Ginger states, I'm 18. And Glitter Songs, you look like you're 24. Thank you. Appreciate that. A lot of people at work, actually, a bit off topic, but a lot of people say that I look like I'm 24, 25. I'm actually 32. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, hey, it's good to know that we all still look young. Maybe another 10 years we won't look as young. If we're unlucky. I know I've got at least 30 years more until my hair goes grey. Because my dad's hair didn't start going grey till he was like 60. He's literally turned 60 this year and his hair's just starting to go grey. So I've got at least another 30 years until my hair goes grey. So all good.
I don't have any hair left, so...
Well, we've got some at the front. Right. Let's see. It's coming up to 11 o'clock, so... Yeah, we'll end the stream at 11 o'clock. I know I was going to end it at 10:30, but we may as well end it at 11 since it's just gone quarter to 11 now. So we'll end it in about 15 minutes. So yeah, 11 o'clock we'll end the stream, people. Glitter says we need a G5 trailer. We do. We believe the G5 trailer will be released the 20th of August. Which is literally a week on Friday, so it's like 2 weeks away. It's either going to be the 20th of August or the 23rd or 24th of August. When it is released, we will do a massive live stream where we will pick apart the trailer. That will happen.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, we're hoping it's going to be in about 2 weeks' time. 2.5 tops. A part of me is really hoping that it is released on the 20th because I am off. I am off from this Wednesday, the 11th. I'm off from work for like a week and a half. So if it comes out on the 20th, I'll be off work that day. So I could literally watch it in my leisure and really enjoy it. I won't have to wait until I get home from work. Okay, so right, we've got about 10 minutes left, people. So, and it is 10 minutes this time. I don't want to sound like a downer, but I am ending it at 11 o'clock because we only have a limited amount of time on SteamYard, and we need kind of preserve it. So we'll end it in about 10 minutes. So, Anna, quick question to Glitter Song. Not meaning to point you out, I'm just curious. What got you into MLP? And what has kept you a fan? Like, you're in your teens now, you say you're 14. What kept you, like, sort of a fan and, you know, kept you going? And in Ginger just states, I just learned Izzy could be inspired from G1 Buttons, who has the same look as her and loves the same thing. Interesting. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, yeah. Interesting. You're right there. She definitely has a bit of a look to her. Yeah. Interesting there. Very interesting that. Right, what's this? Anything interesting? Right. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about? If not, we'll look at ending the stream. Well, if anyone's got anything else they want to talk about, let us know. If not, we will end the stream. But anyway, like any fans out there, you know, you're always welcome in the next stream we do, which will probably be aiming for the 20th, assuming the trailer is released. If not, we'll probably do one anyway.
I might do one next weekend.
Yeah, we might. Yeah. Either way, we will do another one. We do enjoy doing these. It's nice talking to you all. I have a question for Sam. This is from Ginger. Somehow, if you're a pony, if you're a pony and met Nightmare Moon, what would you do to convince her to turn back to Luna again? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. That is a really good question. I think I would ask her, you know, I would say, you know, look at the world of Equestria. You know, if you throw it into eternal night, you'll kill it. Everything will die. You know, the night is beautiful. Yes, people love the night, but they also need the day as well. And if you go ahead and do this, you will forever tarnish your name. And your sister has missed you. And she wants her baby sister back. She wants her little sister back. So drop the hate, drop the anger, and come back to us, Luna. Become Luna again. Nah. I love your stars. I'm a big. I like you. I will look after your stars. You know, I will help you. You know, that's what I would say. That was epic. Thanks, thank you. That was straight out my head. But yeah, that's what I think I would say. I would say something along those lines. No, Luna is awesome. All hail Luna.
No. All hail Rainbow Dash.
Right. Okay. Unless anybody else has anything else they want to ask, we are now going to end the stream. But thank you to every single person that joined us tonight. It's been a good nearly 3 hours of discussion and debate.
Yep.
As always, we do love talking to you all. We look forward to seeing you all here again in the next stream, which probably will be next weekend.
And then trailer as well.
Yeah, if the trailer's released the weekend after, we will most definitely do one for that as well, as because we do want to talk about that. But yeah, big thank you to everybody for tuning in. And once again, it's been great to talk to you all. Nosy, do you have anything to have to say before we go?
Pretty much echo what you said. And Rainbow Dash forever. But no, just huge thanks again for everyone for joining us, to Glitter, to Ginger, to
Alpha Swell again,
Galaxy Star, and Nico. Anyone else?
Princess Star City saw Nightmare Moon in her dreams. She's always got ponies on her mind.
That's it. And also a big thanks to Alpha for joining us again on the stream.
Yeah, just to throw it out there as well, we can have, I think, up to about 6 people on the chat with us. So, obviously Alpha joins us now and then. So if anybody else ever wants to join us on a video chat like this, we can add you. So next time, if there is anybody that wants in on the video chat, just let us know. We'll add you into the chat.
Yep.
But anyway, thanks very much for tonight, guys. It's been brilliant. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully we'll have that trailer soon. All right, Princess Galaxy Star, I'll see you next stream. We'll see you next stream as well. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good evening. Take care. We'll see you all next stream, probably next week.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.